Hello everybody, welcome back to Reselling History. This is Scott, once again, with another watch video. We got more vintage watches in here. This is a recent purchase on eBay, and if you like unique vintage watches, you're gonna like this video because there's some really nice stuff in here. Now, I think I paid, I wanna say like around $200 for, I think a little more, for this stuff. I'll show you the listing right here on the screen, but I bought it right away when I saw it because I saw a lot of potential. I even saw a potential rare Omega watch, but after I purchased it, I kind of got thinking that it was too good to be true, that watch, and I'm still feeling that way, that it's, you know, it would be a Grail watch for sure if it was real, but it just seems very unlikely that it will be real. And we're going to get to that last. Besides that, there are a lot of unique finds in here. Some of them are pretty valuable too, surprisingly valuable. So let's get into it, you guys. If you like this stuff, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so this first pile here, this is the cheaper stuff. Now, I've seen the analytics of my videos. I know a lot of you guys like to skip to the more expensive, valuable watches. So I'm going to help you out. I'm just going to quickly go through some of these cheaper watches, and then we'll start getting to the more valuable stuff. Okay, so some of these actually might not be cheap per se, like in value-wise, like this watch right here. This is a pretty nice looking pocket watch, and it is ticking. It's a Romer, vintage Romer, a 17 jewel pocket watch, and it's a pretty cool look to it. It's got a little bit of damage there to the dial, but this is probably a $50 pocket watch. It probably won't sell as fast as, say, like an Elgin pocket watch or Hamilton or Waltham or anything like that, but it's still a nice find. So a lot of these watches here kind of look like they're going to be for parts, but some of them have a lot of potential, like this Fossil watch right here. It's got like that black LCD screen, and then here's another Fossil. This one actually looks pretty nice. I do pretty good with Fossil watches. They're really not that valuable. They're worth about 20 or 30 bucks. You've seen me say this before, but these old Benris LCD watches, LCD or LED, whatever they're called, they almost never work, so I'm probably not even going to test this. We also have this vintage Loris. I think this is probably from the 1980s. It's a Japanese watch, and not too bad condition. It's got the original band. This is probably another $20 watch. There's also this vintage, I think it says Deauville. It's probably a spin on Omega Deville, but this is an Armatron quartz watch, and it's got a nice look to it. Even if I don't sell the watch, it's got a decent little band on there, but that's probably another $20 watch. And then there's another Timex, and you have some pretty decent Casio watches, and a lot of these are already ticking. They have the battery in them. The only issue is finding a good band for these. You kind of need a specific band for these kind of chunky Casios. You don't have to, but it just looks better. And then there is also this vintage Gucci ladies watch. This, I tried setting the time right now, but it's not, the crown is not really working that well when it comes to setting the hands. So got a vintage Elgin, but a lot of this stuff is pretty decent, not really too valuable. Let's get to the more valuable stuff. Okay, we got some more watches here. I think some of these might be a little bit higher dollar. And surprisingly, this Marvin the Martian Looney Tunes watch, first of all, it's working already. It's in good condition, has a nice, I think it's an original band. And I know this is not really too old of a watch. It's probably from the 1990s, but this is a $50 watch all day long because Marvin the Martian is super collectible. Probably most out of all of the Looney Tunes characters. So this is a neat looking watch. That'll be a easy $50 bill. And I thought this was really neat. This is a Lucerne jump hour dial. This is a mechanical watch. One thing, and maybe somebody here can point this out to me, if it's a mechanical watch, why does it say digital? Because I don't think there's anything really digital about it, right? It just has a jump hour mechanism and it's mechanical, so I thought that was kind of unusual. But as far as running, let's see if this runs. And I do hear it ticking. Obviously, I'll test it for accuracy. I feel like jump hour watches are kind of making a comeback, maybe a little bit. There's a nice collector's market, but there was a lot of jump hour stuff put out in the 70s and 80s when this was made. I think the more valuable jump hour stuff is earlier, probably. I think they started like in the 1930s, and those watches go for a lot of money. But this is a neat find. If that works, we'll put a nice band on it. And then here is a really cool, this is modern, but it's a Nautica, and it's a cool skin diver watch. It's a quartz watch, 50 meters water resistant, and I've seen this watch before, and surprisingly it also has some decent value, mostly just because of the look and the brand name Nautica. I think this is another $50 watch with a nice band. Got a Wenger Swiss military watch. Here's an automatic Bulova ladies watch. It's got some a nice red seconds hand, and it is already running, which is a good sign. But these Bulova ladies watches, they sell all day long. They don't sell for a lot of money, but this is probably a good 30 or 40 bucks by itself. And then this is kind of a foreshadowing of what's to come next. And this is a kind of a unique looking old Casio watch. As you can see, it has a battery in it. This one is pretty worn, but I have a couple of Casios coming up that are crazy valuable. Here is the first one, you guys, and I'm not one to really fancy an old Casio like this. First of all, you see that band is broken, which happens with these old plastic bands, and they also bleed oil over the years, which I've noticed. But even with no band, this calculator watch is worth like $200, and I've seen them sell for upwards to like $300 or $400 if they're in, you know, kind of like new condition. Now the good thing is this is working. I'm gonna have to test out all these buttons, which it's kind of going to be a headache a little bit, but it's going to be fun to learn about. Like I said, I don't know much about Casio, but I was shocked to see the value of this one. And I'll definitely be on the lookout for these types of watches in the future. And I got another one coming up. And here is the other Casio, and this one is also running. It's another digital watch. It's obviously, it's got like this depth meter indicator, and it's got, I think it's got like a world time on there. That's pretty cool, that like seconds hand, digital seconds hand ticking. This is a really cool watch, and it is really, it's not your typical Casio. It's heavy. It's heavy duty watch. I think that's because it's obviously a diver watch, very submersible. And it's called that Casio Air Diver watch. I'm not really sure what this is here. If anybody knows what that is, point that out to me, because it almost looks like a speaker or something. I really don't know, but this is a unique watch. And the value of this, I briefly looked it up, and this is another like $100 to $200 Casio watch just by itself. It looks like there are different versions of this, but really unique find. Man, I love learning about these watches that are just have unexpected value and following behind them. So that's very cool. I do have that potential Omega coming up next. Before I get to that Omega, I did want to show you these really quick. And I thought this was a really unique find. This is a Gruen auto wind, and it's got the jump hour. It's already running, which is a good sign. And it has the little seconds sub dial, which I feel like you don't see that often, a sub dial combined with the jump hour mechanism. Now, I'm not sure, I think this might be a lady's watch, or maybe It looks awfully small. Might be a ladies or a unisex watch or even a boy's watch. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments, but this kind of seems like an unusual, harder to find watch. And then obviously you can't go wrong with a vintage Hamilton. This is just a quartz watch. It's a ladies watch, but this will probably be an easy $50. And then we got a brand new Seiko included. He even cushioned it with some tissue paper. And this is a really, really neat looking Seiko. I don't think it's ever been used before. Well, actually, it might have some very light scratches. It was probably gently used. But once again, you got kind of like a jump hour indicator, but this is for the days of the week and then the date of the week too. It's got its original band, which is a good sign, but let's see how much this costs brand new. Wow, so brand new, $250 price tag, probably from the 1980s, mid 80s, late 80s. That was a lot of money back then. I don't know if it's sold for that much because it says suggested right there on the tag, but it's really good that it has the original box. That's going to bump up the value. We'll put a neat battery in there, and this alone might pay for mostly everything, so that's a good sign. All right, you guys, I finally got this possible holy grail watch. Now, it's kind of embarrassing because I can already tell it's not an actual grail watch. So go ahead and roast me online, whatever you want to do. But that's what I do as a collector. I look for the rare watches. And this, let's look at that dial. This says Omega, and it's a quartz watch, which is your first red flag. And this is an obvious fake Omega triple calendar moon phase watch. The quartz is what gave it away after I already made the purchase. I didn't notice it at first, but they never made this with a quartz movement. It's always mechanical. And if it is mechanical, it's a super expensive watch, probably at least 10 grand. So it's got decent quality, even though it's a knockoff. It's in good condition. You can see it says Omega Geneve 18 karat gold plated. That also threw me off. Kind of looks suspect because I've never seen an Omega with this 18K GP. Like, it just looks, it looks too good to be true. Let's look at the movement on here. And as you can see, it is a quartz movement. So let's look on the inside of the case lid. Nothing. And right here, got a little Japanese movement. Yep, it's just a little cheap quartz watch. Now, the good news is it comes with a nice band that I could use. I've actually needed a black band with gold buckle lately, but I can probably still sell it. Obviously, I'm not going to sell it as a freaking Omega. I'm going to be pretty truthful about that. And I'm sure somebody would like to have this who can't afford the real deal like most of us. And there you have it, everybody. Another watch unboxing in the books. Let me know what your favorite watch was, and my personally was this Casio dive watch right here. I thought that was pretty cool. Probably not going to hang on to anything. Going to sell most of this or all of it. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.